And we are back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight-up gameplay, our first impressions, and tell you if the latest release is worth your hard-earned cash, or if you should run away faster than a beach bob from a level 150 raptor. And look, we need to talk about ARK again. Just when you think you're out, just when you think you've punched your last tree and tamed your last dodo, Studio Wildcard drags you back in. This time, it's with their most ambitious, confusing, and visually spectacular expansion yet, ARK, Lost Colony. If you've been following the news, you know the hype cycle for this has been insane. We're talking about a map that bridges the narrative gap between Extinction and Genesis. Anime cutscenes from a legendary Japanese studio, and a cast of voice actors that costs more than my house. But we also know ARK. We know that launch day is usually, well, a disaster. I have been staying up way too late, destroying my sleep schedule. We're going to talk about the good, the creatures, the world, the bad, the performance, and the ugly, the memory leaks. This is everything you need to know about ARK Lost Colony. Let's get into it. First off, let's address the weirdest and coolest thing about this expansion, the presentation. Lost Colony isn't just dropping you on a map with a few notes to read. Wildcard has gone full cinematic universe on us. They have partnered with Studio MAPPA. Yes, that MAPPA, the studio behind Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen. They have produced cinema-grade anime story sequences to tell the story of Mei Yin, the Beast Queen, and Diana Alvarez. The production value here is startlingly high for a survival sandbox. You aren't just reading text boxers. You are watching fully animated cutscenes of Mei Yin fighting vampire-like creatures. You have voice acting from legitimate Hollywood heavyweights. Michelle Yeoh returns as Mei Yin. Carl Urban, Billy Butcher himself, is voicing Bob Poo, apparently has a much more integral plotline this time around. We've got Keith David voicing the antagonist, the Lost King, and Kutei Sakhoff as Diana. The story takes place on Erat Prime, a planet that feels like a collision of eras. The narrative is trying to fill in the blanks of what happened after Extinction and before the Genesis ship launched. It introduces the United Republics of Earth-Yor and the Lost Colonists as actual factions. It feels less like ARK and more like a JRPG wrapped in a survival game. You have voice-in-head narrative moments, a massive 75-minute original score by Gareth Coker that swells and shifts as you explore, and a plot that is actually trying to make you care about these characters rather than just eating them. Visually, Lost Colony is a flex. Unreal Engine 5 is doing some heavy lifting here. The map is broadly divided into distinct biomes that reflect the factions at play. On one side, you have the URE's Aurora Vistas. This is the Light faction area. It's heavenly, clean, futuristic, and features sweeping snow landscapes and Eastern-themed architecture. It's beautiful, bright, and deadly. On the other side, you have the Lost Colonist territory. This is where things get dark. We are talking gothic, Castlevania-style castles, dark pits reminiscent of Rockwell's Corruption, and vampire gothic architectural constructions. This isn't just a few ruins. There is a sense of an actual city here. What's wild is that the world feels lived in. For the first time, we are seeing NPCs roaming the map. You will walk through a citadel and see a character riding a Rex, just chilling. It adds a layer of immersion that ARK has always lacked. Usually, if you see a person on a dino, you shoot them or run away because it's a PvP player. Here, they might be part of the environment, though they will attack you if you mess with them. The environmental effects have been dialed up to 11. The snow interaction, the weather systems, the way the lighting hits the tech wings, which we'll get to, it's stunning. However, all this visual fidelity comes at a steep price, which we will discuss in the performance section. But strictly from an art direction standpoint, this is the best ARK has ever looked. Okay, let's talk about the real reason you play this game, the dinos, or in this case, the mythical sci-fi monstrosities. Lost Colony introduces some creatures that fundamentally change the meta. 1. The Valwyn, the fox spirit. These little guys are the mascots of the expansion. They start as these multiplying ice fox companions, but they have a branching evolution path. Think Eevee from Pokemon. Solwyn. This is the angelic form. It's sphinx-like, sharpened to glide across ice fields. It's built for speed and agility, letting you traverse the massive map quickly. Malwyn. This is the dark heavy metal form. It's red, element-infused, and looks like a devil hound. It's a bruiser, designed to weaken and slow prey. We don't know the exact evolution method yet. It likely involves infusing them with a specific substance. But having a tame that can specialize like this is a really cool mechanic. 2. The Oaden the Meanie Titan. Remember the Titans from Extinction? The Oaden is like a miniature version of those. They are huge. They boast stats that can beat a Rex, and unlike the big Titans, they can jump and bound around the map. Crucially, they have a massive carry weight and can swallow bolus. Originally, we thought they couldn't breed, but it looks like that ability unlocks post-launch. These are going to be the new meta for caravans and heavy assaults. 3. The Orlax, the never-ending dragon. This is the showstopper. The Orlax is a giant, Oriental-style flying dragon that looks like it flew straight out of the never-ending story. It doesn't fly with wings. It uncoils and swims through the air. The taming method is unique. It's described as a trust system. You don't just tranquilize it and shove berries down its throat. You have to approach it, bring it offerings, and build a bond. If you snub it or mess up, it destroys you on sight. Once tamed, it acts as a massive flying siege platform. For the Nugglings, formerly Glons, these are your new shoulder pets. They look like weird little gremlins but act like walking light bulbs. They have light-emitting abilities that can either provoke or calm nearby creatures. This is essential for navigating the darker, gothic areas of the map where the lighting is intentionally oppressive. 5. Giga Desmodus. If you thought the regular Desmodus was a beast, the Giga Desmodus is a total game changer. It's basically a flying tank with a vampire soul. The lifesteal is insane. You're healing while you're hitting, making it almost impossible to take down in a scrap. The blood spit is my favorite part. It's a torpor machine that makes taming late-game dinos a breeze. Sure, it's bulky and you lose the sanguine elixirs, but the raw power and that platform saddle make up for it. It's a literal boss reward for a reason. The gameplay in Lost Colony is trying to be more than just survival. It's leaning into faction warfare. There are dynamic enemy outposts scattered throughout the city and beyond. These are populated by NPC thralls, basically enemy soldiers fighting for the URE or the Lost Colonists. It brings a simplified RTS real-time strategy element to the game. You might be raiding these bases not just for loot, but to weaken a faction's hold on a region. There is also the introduction of tech wings. These aren't just the tech suit jetpack. They seem to be a middle ground offering temporary glides or flight, possibly for use in areas where jetpacks are disabled or as an early game alternative. The patch notes also dropped some interesting quality of life updates. There's a tech bunker, a cryo hospital, presumably for healing dinos in cryo, and a blood forge. Plus, a no-build zone preview in the HUD, which is a godsend for builders who are tired of guessing where they can place walls. Now, we have to take off the hype glasses and look at the reality of playing Lost Colony right now. To put it bluntly, the servers are melting. As reported by many server owners and players like Loaded Creases, the launch has been plagued by a massive memory leak. This isn't just a bit of lag. We are talking about servers that can't stay online for more than 10 to 15 minutes before the memory usage spikes. The server chokes, and it crashes often, rolling back progress. For official servers, it's a nightmare of queues and crashes. For unofficial cluster owners, it's a headache of trying to tweak config files to stop the bleeding. Nitrado, the server, host, and Wildcard are working on fixes, but at the time of recording, this is a major issue. If you are planning to play multiplayer with a big group, be prepared for frustration. Performance on client side, on PC, even with high-end rigs, the frame rate tanks when you first spawn in. The map is huge, dense, and trying to render complex geometry and thousands of actors. There is also an overspawn issue in certain areas, specifically the castle and aberrant zones where too many NPCs and zombies are spawning, turning the game into a slideshow. Console players, PS5, Xbox, are reporting frequent crashes. The console simply runs out of memory trying to handle the sheer volume of assets in the city areas. This is classic ARK. The ambition is through the roof, but the optimization is crawling in the mud. If you are a solo player who enjoys exploring and can tolerate some jank, Lost Colony is a fascinating experience. The world is beautiful, and the new creatures are fun to hunt down. You can tweak your single-player settings to mitigate some of the lag. However, if you are a competitive PvP player or someone who runs a server cluster, you might want to wait a week or two. Let Wildcard patch the memory leaks. Let them fix the overspawn issues. Right now, the frustration of crashing every 15 minutes outweighs the coolness of the new content. ARK, Lost Colony, is fantastic conceptually. It's great, but broken. It's the ARK experience distilled. Incredibly high highs and frustratingly low lows. But hey, that's just my opinion. I give you the info, you make the call. So, now I want to hear from yours in the comments. Did you stay up all night waiting for the launch only to get crashed to desktop? What do you think of the anime cutscenes? Is it a good direction for ARK or too weird? And are you Team Yor or Team Lost Colonist? Let me know down below. If you liked this video and seeing the Oralax flying through the sky nice and crispy when the frames aren't dropping, maybe it helped you out? Maybe informed your decision? Well then, clicking the like button is all we ask for. It helps us. Thank you. If you're new here, hitting subscribe is the best way to keep up with all the latest game releases, even the broken ones. Thanks for watching, fly safe, watch out for the Void Raptors, and we'll see you guys next time right here on GameRanks.